Welcome back to the Voice Weekly Recap. My name is Sean.
And I'm Chris.
We have 2 hours, just 2 hours. Why could they not do this on one night, Chris?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because really, well, I know the debate was Monday, but still, this is more important than that.
So do it on Tuesday. Do 2 hours on Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, something. I mean, come on.
And then they got to skip through all the contestants, and oh man.
And make me angry. You know, sometimes I get green and turn to the Hulk when that happens.
I'll complain about this again later, but I'm just going to start right now. At this point, the steel mechanic is totally annoying to me. I liked it so much, but they absolutely killed all of the drama of it by always making the last contestant of every night be the one who's stolen, and they tell you every single time they go to commercial, they're like, guess what's going to happen at the end of the show? And you're like, yes, we know. Someone's going to get stolen. And then in the last one, it was the last contestant of the last battle, and Christina hadn't stolen one yet. What was going to happen?
Right.
I was so annoyed that there was no suspense.
I was quite angry over this week in general for many reasons.
Okay, well let's pick it apart and go through like we normally do. So actually, I'm going to voice one more complaint that is just in general about these battle rounds. So I get the Mary J. Blige is like, you know, when you walk into a room and all of a sudden Mary J. is there, you might be like, oh my God, what an amazing singer, right?
Right.
But when you walk into a room and you see Rob Thomas, why is everyone's reaction like, I couldn't believe it was Rob Thomas?
Yeah, it's like they're so dramatic about it. I'm like, do you guys not know who the other people are?
I mean, Rob Thomas is great, and I love Matchbox 20, and I grew up in the 90s, and I have no problem with him. But if I walked into a room and then talked about it on camera, I would be like, man, it was great meeting Rob Thomas. He was a really nice guy. I wouldn't be like, what a great singer. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Michael Bublé, Mary J. Blige, I might be like a little more complimentary about their vocal skill. But Rob Thomas? I don't know.
Yeah. I think
people were very impressed.
I'd be like they were for Billy Joe Armstrong, just because I'm a huge Green Day fan.
I might freak out a little bit at Billy Joe. I was leaving him out because that was my exception to the rule.
Yeah, me too. I love Green Day.
I might ask him where Trey Cool is, though.
Yeah.
I want to meet your drummer. Where's he?
Yep.
So
I don't blame you.
Anyway, this is what actually happened on The Voice this week, other than my own mild complaints. The first battle of the week was Team CeeLo, and we had Daniel Rosa, who is there's no way to describe this guy other than wonderfully sweet. My wife is contributing from the background. Carson introduced him as the emotional singer Daniel Rosa.
Yeah, I was like, oh, come on, man.
Emotional? That's weird. And he was paired up against Alexis Marceau, who was the Hurricane Katrina victim. Right. Sad sob story.
Yeah.
And CeeLo gave them the song "What Do You Want From Me," which is a Adam Lambert song from American Idol, if you know him. But the song itself was actually written by Pink. And every time I hear that song, that's like what I hear. I'm like, this just sounds like a Pink song to me.
Right.
Which is fine. And Daniel was very nervous about this song in rehearsals. He was very emotional.
Yeah, he showed it big time.
He was basically crying because he was so concerned that he was not going to be able to handle this.
Yeah, it was blatantly obvious right from the beginning. And then I think, didn't he say it like verbally in front of Alexis? I think he said how nervous he was while she was there.
I think so.
And like
she was pretty much nailing it. Like right from the beginning, she knew the song and she was singing it loud and well, and yeah.
And I immediately was like, you never tell the opponent that.
He's
never.
Just such a sweetheart, like I said.
Yeah. He's emotional.
He's emotional. Yeah, she seemed to have an upper hand going into rehearsals, but even even when they were just doing the rehearsals, it was clear that he was singing it in kind of a different way. Like, he said that this song was outside of his wheelhouse. Like, this wasn't the type of song he ever would have picked for himself. I don't know what that means. What song did he try out with? They showed a clip of it, and now I can't remember.
It was, hold on. Scrolling.
Search function.
Yeah, my search function is, here it is. Somebody that I used to know.
That's right. Okay.
It's a good thing he was the first night. Otherwise, I wouldn't have found it that fast.
So maybe he wanted more of maybe he's more of a low key kind of, because What Do You Want From Me is pretty much like a rocker. Like, when it hits the chorus, it just boom, takes off. And I think that's what he was worried about. And it was clear in rehearsals that he had a very different way of singing this, and I think that's what carried him through the battles. There was nothing really surprising about Alexis's performance. It was good, but I think CeeLo is always looking for that thing that is different. And Daniel's definitely different.
Yeah. I actually thought he was trying to play it safe for a while of the song in the beginning, and then he really kind of got it better towards the end.
Maybe he was just saving it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the coaches tend to criticize if you just do 110% the entire way. They're like, you need to rein it in, show some versatility and all that, blah blah blah.
Right, and then I thought Alexis was better overall for the battle, but then after the end, when they were talking about it, when all the judges were talking, Adam in particular, he started saying something about Daniel, and I sat there, I'm like, did I miss something? Because I totally felt like that's not what I saw. And then CeeLo picked Daniel, and I was like, WTF. I quit. Like, I could not wrap my head around that one. But, CeeLo has his niche for what he likes, so obviously there's something that he likes about him that maybe I just haven't seen yet.
Well, I hope that he gains some confidence between now and when he goes live, if he makes it to the live rounds. We'll talk about the knockout rounds at the end. I'm still kind of confused about what's going on.
Yeah, we'll have to hash it out and make sure we got it on.
So the next battle was Team Adam. We had Nicole Nelson and Brandon Mahone. Nicole Nelson was the hippie chick who lived on a commune and whatever. And Brandon Mahone was this, I think he was 18. Was he 18? He was really young. He was a teenager. And he was bullied in his hometown. Is he from Chicago? I think so. And he just wanted to sing, and people made fun of him. And standing next to Nicole Nelson, he just looked like this tiny little thing.
Yeah.
She's not that big. I always am curious about the height of people on TV. So I looked up how tall Carson Daly was. He's 6'2", and she was on heels next to Carson, and she was not as tall as him. So she's tall, but she's not that tall. But Brandon Mahone is this tiny little guy.
Yeah.
And Adam gave them the song Ain't No Mountain High Enough, the well-known song. And one of these people was clearly better than the other.
Yep.
I think this battle was a little mismatched.
Yeah, I think so too.
I thought they sounded really good together. But
absolutely.
One of these people was clearly going to shine, and it was not Brandon.
Right. I liked Nicole better during the blinds as well too. And then for her performance, I just loved it.
Yeah, she's just a natural.
Yeah, I think she can go a long way.
I wouldn't be surprised if she made it to semifinals at least.
Yeah.
Not only is she a natural, but she's, I don't know if she's humble, but she's not she doesn't brag about it. She doesn't seem very full of herself. She just sings really well.
Yeah, I respect that a lot.
So I know Adam was disappointed that no one picked up Brandon, but I would say based on some of the other people who are coming up, I wasn't that surprised.
Yeah, I thought there were some other people that could be better pickups.
And I really wonder what order these were actually in, because there's no way for me to tell if these are in the correct order or not, because I feel like if they were in the correct order, isn't it convenient that they ended up with steals at the end of each night? But maybe they just edited it that way. Like they made the cutoff point after the steal. I don't know. It makes it very strange.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is, at least for the ones that they have skipped over, I think they just kind of pull them out from wherever and put whatever ones they want in a show, because it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because they're not going to skip over somebody who gets a steal. That's blatantly obvious from previous week. So I was expecting that this week, when I was actually expecting it to be a 2-hour episode on Monday and a 1-hour episode on Tuesday, thinking, oh, we'd see everybody. Great. There's
I was until I turned it on. I didn't know either.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, only an hour. I'm like, oh, no. Because I knew right away what was going to happen one of these nights.
Well, you didn't know who it was going to happen to until it did. So right after this battle with Team Adam, we had one of these stupid things where they skipped through a whole bunch of contestants. 2 of them were Team Adam. They were Lauren Alred and Brian Scartosi. Scartosi went home. And then it was Joe Kirkland and Sam Mouton,
yeah, something like that.
I don't know. And Joe stayed, and Sam went home.
Yep.
Based on the little snippets that I heard from them, I was like, sure, that sounded right, I guess. I don't know.
And then
the last one. I figured you might want to talk about this.
Yeah, I want to just mention one thing, too. If anybody goes to the wiki for Season 3, they'll notice the Lauren Alred thing in green and everybody at that list. I put that in there. They forgot it when they updated it during the show.
What did they forget?
They just left that battle out.
Oh.
It was completely gone, so I put it in.
Very nice.
Go me, pat on the back. Good job, Chris. So,
Golf
clap.
I
fixed it during the show. Because I found that they update as the show's going on. As soon as the battle's done, they announce it. They update it.
Wow. Okay, I was wondering about that, and I forgot to check.
Yeah, because I went and said, oh, somebody's edited this document. That won't count yours. I said, okay, whatever. So I backed out and saw what they did. I'm like, they still missed the battle. Okay, went back in and pasted it back in and fixed it.
Very nice.
So good. So it's updated. Go me.
I'm glad we've got the best people working on this.
Oh, of course. And
so the last battle they skipped through.
Yeah, this battle was Team Blake, and it was Ryan Jerovic versus my favorite contestant in the show, Cassidy Pope. And they skipped it.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, someone's going to be pissed.
I had a fit.
This is exactly what I was talking about the first time this happened. I was like, not only is this bad for the artist who doesn't get the FaceTime, but if someone really likes them, they don't get to see them.
Yeah. And the thing too is I went on her page, on the voice page, because her Twitter feed comes up.
Yeah.
And all of her fans were pissed.
Of course they were.
And she was playing off like, it's okay, guys. I got through to the knockout rounds. It's fine. But really, it's not.
Well, yeah, but she's got to play politics and,
exactly.
be like, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. She goes, it's fine. You'll get to see me on the knockouts. But still.
She can't be like, screw these guys, cutting out my FaceTime.
Yeah, but that sucked. I was really looking for. If anybody listened last week, I was looking forward to it this week.
I know you announced it as like your most looked forward to battle, and
I got nothing. Even the song was good. They sang "Not Over You." I was like, I like that song. It's a good song.
Yeah, it's a Gavin DeGraw song.
Yeah, it's the only song I listened to by him. I'm just gonna throw that out there now.
I like his first single, which was "I Don't Want to Be."
Okay,
that's a good song.
Yeah. So I was quite angry at this point in the show. And then
But thank goodness she got through, at least.
Yeah, I'm happy she got through. But so then we go to the last battle of the night, which was Team Christina.
Team Xtina.
It was Devin Delora versus Marissa Ann, who sang Free Your Mind.
Diva off.
Yes. That's the best way to describe it.
This was one of those pairs that when she cast both of these people on her team, she was like, I can't wait to put these two together.
Yeah. and it was I didn't record much of what happened during the rehearsal, partly because I was falling asleep at this point because it was late. And
you know what happened to me during the rehearsal? I kept mixing up which one of them was which.
Yes, I did that too, so I didn't know what to write because I didn't know who was who at one point.
I thought, and now I don't remember which one was which exactly, but one of them was 15. One of them was the youngest person in the competition.
Right.
And the other one was 20. And when it got to the battle round, I was like, I like that one. And Alicia's like, the 15-year-old? And I was like, no, the other one. She's like, I was like, I thought the other one was 15. And she's like, no, that is, and I was like, I have no idea. They're both the same. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's how they sounded when they were singing too. I thought they sounded really close to each other.
Yeah, I think they did. They sounded like In Vogue, basically. They sounded like half of In Vogue.
Yep, that's a great way to describe it.
My wife says white En Vogue.
Oh, man. So, and again, with this team, Christina chose Devin Delora.
Mm-hmm. Which, who knows? I can't tell if she's the 15 or 20-year-old. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. And then, of course, since they hinted at this all night.
Oh my gosh, a steal!
Yeah, and of course, knowing this going in, it's Team Christina. Only Christina and Blake have a steal left. Gee, I wonder who's taking her.
No suspense. That is exactly what I'm complaining about.
None. I knew full well what was going to happen then.
That's awful. It's just
yeah.
I don't know how to fix it. I don't have a suggestion for them to fix it.
That's easy. Just don't do it the last one like one time.
Or don't spend the entire show hyping it.
Yeah, they've become predictable.
Yeah. So anyway, Blake, the one interesting thing was Blake complimented Marissa Ann when Carson asked for input from the coaches before Christina decided. And he was like, out of this battle, I would pick Marissa Ann. And I think the other two coaches had both said Devin. And then Christina went with Devin. And it was just nice that Blake was like, well, I was talking so nicely about Marissa Ann, I'll take her. And he did.
Yep.
So anyway, that's fine. We get to see these two screechy girls stick around some more. So the second night, we started again with Team Christina, more Christina. And we had Adriana Lewis.
I think
it's spelled Louise, but I thought it was pronounced
Maybe it's Lewis. Maybe it is Lewis. I don't know.
Versus Jordan Pruitt, and they sang probably my least favorite Katy Perry song in the world, Hot and Cold.
Yep.
Oh, man. It sounded like it went on for 5 minutes. I know that it's like 90 seconds or 2 minutes or something, and it just kept going and going and going. I'm like, this song only has 12 words in it.
Yeah, right?
That was the worst part. But I, quite honestly, I was very biased for Adriana right from the beginning.
All right.
I wasn't interested in Jordan Pruitt. I don't know why. I liked Adriana in the blind auditions, and I was like, yeah, I want her.
Yeah, I favored Jordan early. Then I thought Adriana had some really good parts and got better. Then it kind of got to, well, I don't know who to pick now. So I was kind of happy with either one.
Okay.
But I thought it was funny because while this battle was going on, my mom walks in because I heard like some issues with somebody, but I couldn't tell which singer it was.
Yeah, I know. I had that problem with Devin and Marissa. I couldn't tell which voice I was hearing at which time because they were harmonizing the exact same lines. So I couldn't tell who was singing which harmony.
Yeah, and all of a sudden from out in the kitchen I hear from my mom, somebody sounds really flat. And she walks in, she goes, which one was it? I can't tell. They sound the same again.
That one.
I was like, it's one of them.
Yeah, well, anyway, my interests were pretty much flattened by this song choice, so I was just like, I hope it's Adriana just because I like her more, and it was.
Yep.
The battle itself, I would have muted it probably if I had thought about it.
Yeah, that's probably a good feature.
The second battle of the night was Team Blake, and that was between Michaela Page and Kelly Crappa.
Yeah, right.
And he had them sing the song by Joan Jett, "I Hate Myself for Loving You," which Kelly is a country girl. Michaela was like, I mean, just from her look.
Yeah, she's the punk rocker type, I guess is the best way to describe her.
Yeah.
With the mohawk thing with the hair.
I don't know what that hairstyle is.
It's interesting.
It looks like the top of lipstick, like the bend of the lipstick.
Yeah,
like that's what her hair looked like.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
I could take or leave the hair. I like her attitude and I like her singing, but the look, I'm like, you're trying too hard.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know either. It's definitely different.
So going into the rehearsal, it seemed pretty clear that this was in Michaela's wheelhouse, and Kelly, a country girl, was going to have problems with it. But I would say by the time they got to the battles, they were vocally pretty even. I was impressed.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed the performance.
I think the real issue for Kelly, and all of the coaches noted, was the stage presence.
Right. And there was one, because I was like, she's too timid with it.
Yeah.
And then there was one spot in particular, and Christina noticed it, is when Kelly rolled her eyes at Michaela for the one part in the song.
Uh-huh.
And Christina just kind of popped up like, hey, there you go. But it was only that one time.
Yeah, I noticed a couple times that when Kelly was not singing, she seemed to turn off.
Yeah.
And Michaela was on the entire time. She was just like on. And when Kelly would pull the mic away from her face and like walk around Michaela like to do the next part of the blocking or whatever, her whole demeanor would change back to that like, okay, well now I have to walk over here.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a very timid young girl attitude with it. Yeah.
And Michaela was just like kicking ass. Like,
yeah,
she was that total attitude.
Yeah, so for me, I wanted Michaela to win that battle.
Yeah, the decision was made for Blake, I think. It was pretty one-sided.
Absolutely.
And then that brings us to the final battle of the battle rounds. It was Team CeeLo. Who knew that Team CeeLo was going to produce, I think, what was probably one of the best battles, period?
Oh, absolutely.
We had Avery Wilson, who was a 18-year-old guy from, I'm not even going to guess. I don't remember. 18-year-old guy, giant guy, who, when you'd look at him and he started saying the phrase, I come from a family of, I expected something like football players or, I don't know, like something manly. And he says, I come from a family of dancers.
Yep.
And he is obviously a dancer too, but his passion was singing. And luckily enough, his family was like, you don't have to be a dancer. Which is, again, kind of weird.
Right.
You don't have to be a quarterback or whatever. So, yeah. And then Avery was against Siobhan. And she was really good too. She was a Lady Gaga backup singer.
Right.
And she's very well rehearsed and learned. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah. And it shows really well, which is good for her. It really helps her out, I thought.
Yeah, she said something like, I think every backup singer can be, what she should have just said is can be a lead singer. But what she said is can be their own lead singer. So the way she said it, I was like, no.
It sounded funny, yeah.
Just say you can be your own singer. So they sang a David Guetta song called Titanium, which I don't think I've ever even heard.
What is wrong with you? It's on the radio all the time.
I'll have to make sure I bump up the audio on that so that everyone can hear my wife complaining about my ignorance of pop music.
Hey, I didn't know it either.
I don't know this song. But anyway, it was very high energy. It brought down the house. Everyone was excited. And that did not stop the coaches from saying that Avery clearly won the battle.
Right.
Siobhan was great, but Avery just has some natural thing about him that he's just amazing.
Yeah, it was a great performance. I loved it. I was so glad that that was the last one too, because that just made me feel so much better about everything that happened, except skipping my favorite.
Yeah. And it was the last battle. It was Team CeeLo. One person had one steal left, so who was at all surprised that, yeah. So Christina picked up Siobhan, which is good because I think Siobhan deserves to stay in the competition for sure.
Yeah, she had a great performance.
But it was just her dumb luck that she went up against the Wunderkind because he's amazing.
Right. It just... And that's happened a few times where there's been like such even battles where you're like, oh man, I like both of them. Like, and
how do you pick?
But for this one, it was like she's really good and she should stay, but he's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. So after that, they kind of teased us about the knockout rounds. Which do you understand what they're doing exactly?
I think I get the idea.
Okay, go.
So what's going to happen with the knockout rounds is the teams get cut in half.
Okay, right now there are 10 people on each team?
Yes. There's the 8 from the battles and the 2 steals on each team.
Okay.
They will get cut down in half. And what they're going to do is the coaches have the whole team stand in front of them, and then they pick who's going to face who. And each artist gets to pick their own song to do.
Okay, so not like battles. They don't have to do the song of the coach once, and they don't have to do the same song.
Right.
Okay.
And then they go against each other. One sings their song, the other one sings their song, and then I guess the coach picks the winner, that person stays, the other person goes home, and like nobody's safe because of
no
this.
more saves, none of that.
Yeah, and especially because they hinted at this. Some people picked a song that wasn't a good choice for them, which
that's what happened in the blind auditions a lot. People who could have made it if they had sung something else, like what was that? The Cupid Shuffle.
Right. All the things. Cupid sang the Cupid Shuffle. Come on.
Awful.
We digress. But yeah, it was bad. So we'll have 5 from each team.
And then the live voting starts?
Then live rounds come on. So
okay.
We'll have 20 people for live rounds.
That sounds right. And then I think each week a contestant from each team gets knocked out. Or something like that.
Okay.
It's definitely more than one person. It's either 2 or 4 get knocked out until we're left with the final 4.
It's going to be fun.
And
I can't wait.
In case anyone's curious, the ratings for the show have remained extremely strong. The blind auditions started falling off in the ratings curve, but when battles started up again, they picked up, and they've remained pretty constant. The last episode was the least watched, but there are about somewhere over 12 million people watching this every night, along with Chris and I. So that's pretty cool. Very successful, well-received show. Make sure you check back next week, where we will be talking about the Knockouts Part 1 and Part 2. Who knows how long they'll be? Maybe 3 hours, maybe 2, maybe 7. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's a surprise every week.
Maybe a half hour.
maybe a single half. It'll be 15 minutes each, and they will summarize all of them. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. My Twitter and Chris's you will find in the info, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys. See you next time. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Oh, say that again. It cut you off.
Rats. All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Okay. It went like, thanks, guys.